Johnson out with a shotgun, takes a snap. Here comes pressure. They throw it, and it's incomplete, and it's picked off. Colorado's got it, running at the 35, 45. There goes Colton Hood down the sideline. And he stumbles and goes down. Well, the Buffaloes had been down 21-7, but an interception off the deflected pass by Colton Hood. Oh, we thought he was going to make it to the end zone. I know Gary certainly did. Hi, everybody. Voice of the boss, Mark Johnson. Tough one, 31-28. The Buffaloes end up falling on a late touchdown by Kansas State after they'd come back and taken the lead. Coach Gary Barnett, voice of the boss, Mark Johnson. This one stings a little bit, doesn't it?
It does sting. In some ways, it stings that we got so close.
Yeah.
We were so close. I mean, we were ahead, and 3 plays later, we lose the game. 84 yards in 3 plays, by the way.
That's right. 50-yard touchdown.
At the same time, you know, minus whatever it was, 28 yards rushing.
Yeah.
You know, how many sacks? 6 sacks.
6 sacks to give him.
I mean,
down Travis, down Jimmy, down Amari and Miller.
They rushed for 185, one player.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't win a game like that.
Right.
But we were there.
Why? Because of a quarterback.
Quarterback. We have a heck of a quarterback. And so I on the interception, you heard me. I said, no. Because I thought maybe we wouldn't score unless he could score on an interception. But, you know, it was an interesting game.
Yeah.
And in some ways it was like Baylor in that we didn't play that well, but we found some way to win. Well, this one looked like we're not playing very well, and we may find some way to win, except we didn't.
You know, I think, to your point, though, when you go back and look at Shador Sanders, Gary, you said it in our radio postgame. You said every week I get more and more impressed by him. I mean, he really is a special player. What he was doing, despite what was going on around him, despite who he lost out there, he still found a way.
And the fact that, you know, if I was his mother, I wouldn't let him play this game because he was getting hit right and left.
Right.
Twice he got hit that should have been penalties, and we had another penalty on something else. Didn't call it on when he got hit. So the guy's really a tough dude, and we're just, you know what, we're lucky to be able to watch this guy play.
So what do you say if your coach primed your team? There were a lot of areas you didn't play very well in. We still were in it because of the play of his son and quarterback. What do you say to this team?
We got to go. We got to fix these. Here it is. This has got to be fixed. That's got to be fixed. This has got to be fixed. It's your responsibility to do your part to fix it.
Yeah.
And then you lay it on them and go from there. That's all you can do.
The last few weeks, the Buffaloes had averaged about 109 yards rushing each of the last 3 weeks. Today, minus 27 yards. Holy cow, that's got to be fixed. This is a good defense they faced here today.
But a lot of that was sacks.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many the running backs actually made.
They were, both running backs that carried the ball.
I think we had 21 yards.
21 yards or so.
21 yards.
Which is nothing to brag about. But they've got to, I know.
You're saying that to me.
That's the understatement of the world right there. But they've got to find a way.
They've got to find a way. They can't live this way.
Yeah.
You know, you've got 6 more games, and we're going to play 4 teams that are as good as Kansas State. So we got to find a way to live and improve. And just like Coach Sanders says, you got to execute. You got to find a way to fix it.
The last drive by Kansas State, so the Buffs take the lead 28-24, then 3 plays, including a 50-yarder from their quarterback Johnson to their wide receiver Brown. Colorado would have been selling out to stop the run. And then what did K-State do? They pulled the old shuck and jive on them. They threw the ball all 3 times.
They did, and the first one was the wheel route to the back, which they scored on us against Central Florida.
75-yarder.
75-yarder, and this one went nearly that far. So that's not a good sign when you let that play beat you twice like that.
Arizona coming up next week down there in the desert. Temperature's not supposed to be too bad. Tough
weather's
game,
going to be fine.
Yeah.
We're going to play a good team who's, they've lost a couple.
Yeah.
And, we're going to have to hold up. We're going to need our guys back. It's a game we can win. But, every game's a game we can win, but it's also a game that we can lose. And there's no givens, not one given. And so we have to go play. And, it's going to make it exciting. I mean, you and I, we're going to be in games.
No doubt
as opposed to last year or a couple of years ago.
The Big 12 is a balanced conference. It's an exciting conference, and they play at Arizona down in Tucson next week. That's the coach, Gary Barnett. Now let's bring our sideline reporter in, Andy Lindahl.
Shador dropping, swinging out left side, wide open. Grab is made. LeJohntay Wester at the 15, cuts inside the defender, left at the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado! LeJohntay Wester.
Well, there was the first touchdown of the game for the Buffaloes. LeJohntay Wester finding the end zone on a pass from Shador Sanders. Now our sideline reporter, Andy Lindahl. All right, you were down in the locker room. I know you talked with Nikai Hill-Green afterward, and you were kind of struck by how emotional he was. This team took this loss very hard, didn't it?
Yeah, they did. It surprised me. I'm trying to figure out why maybe it did surprise me. I was just, like I said, I was proud
because you're a heartless human being. That's why.
Yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. But look, it's middle of the season. They got plenty left.
Right.
You know, you and I have done some games where you were there for Oregon. That one hurt. You know what I mean? You were out of it. This team, I think, is proving itself to both the local media and the national media. You and I talked about in pregame. I think this is a heck of a showing for them. They were losing guys left and right. Most of the receiving core was down. What they did to get back in the game was done without their Heisman Trophy candidate, and I do think it starts to stir things up for maybe talking about Shador for the Heisman again, because everybody this year, it's been about Travis, and for good reason. He's been absolutely amazing. But Shador, that was all guts. To borrow my buddy Mark Mosier's term, that was guts all over the place from Shador. He took hits. He found a way to make throws, and I was proud of the effort. I know Coach went over some of the stats at the end, and the stats are a little bit ugly, but they showed guts all throughout this game, down some people.
Andy, especially showing guts with Shador Sanders. Listen, if people didn't understand how good he is, a game like this illustrates why the NFL loves everything about him.
Yes, and he's a special player. And again, Travis is so special, too, that maybe sometimes one special light outshines the other.
Yeah, Travis overshadows him a little bit because he's doing it on both sides of the ball. But Shador has got every tool you need to be successful as a quarterback.
Look, I've said it before. I'm serious about this. I keep bringing up John Elway because John Elway, in my childhood, took hits like that. Did not always get the best offensive line play. Didn't always have a running game helping him. And other than the three amigos, you didn't always know who his receivers were. Now, obviously, Shador has some very good receivers to play with when they're all healthy. Again, they were not healthy in the fourth quarter, and he just wills his team usually to victory. That was the oddest thing about tonight, frankly, Mark. This building went quiet because we are so spoiled the last 2 years that Shador and company find a way to get a win. It was very odd that with the game on the line and that scenario right there,
it didn't work out this time.
They weren't able to get a win.
Yeah, the way he manipulates the pocket, the way he's able to buy time, the way he sees things downfield, the way he dissects things, it sets him apart.
Mark, he gets the bad sack there, which his dad deservedly so. We'll talk to him about quit taking the sacks. But then he drops the beautiful win into Omarion Miller before he got hurt. That was an incredible pass right over the shoulder. Gets the yardage right back. He's just such a competitor. He's just such a special player.
As much as this one hurts right now, Buffaloes are 4-2, 2-1 in Big 12 conference play. The bowl game, the way this league is, it's so topsy-turvy. They're still right in the middle of everything. They got to remember that.
Yeah, they are. And look, there's still a process here. I feel like Coach Prime and his staff are coming together. Look, the defense didn't play the way it wanted to at the end of the game, but they continue to build on things. They did play physical the first half with that run game. That's a big back that Kansas State has. It's going to wear on you. If you can get to a bowl game, this school has not been to a bowl game really in a while, right? So let's just start there. I think a lot of people would still be happy with that, but it was great to see how competitive these young men were, and it's great to see that it hurts. People that want to see it hurt, right? We always hear that. I want to know that you care more than I do. Well, go on in there.
Here's the thing about it. I don't think there's a better team in the Big 12 than what K-State is. There are certainly some good teams. Iowa State's a very good team. BYU's playing very well right now. But the Buffaloes went nose to nose with one of the top teams in the league. They come out in the short end of this one, 31-28. Next up, we're down in Tucson next week, 2 o'clock Mountain Time, noon time with the pregame show. Coach Bobby and I will have that one next week down in the desert. For Coach, for Andy Lindahl, I'm voice of the Bus, Mark Johnson. Bus falling a heartbreaker, 31-28. They lose to Kansas State. And now look to the Wildcats next week down in Tucson.